A blurry, high-motion footage of a hectic hallway appears on the screen as it flickers to life. Heels clicking quickly against hardwood floors and muted yelling reverberated in the background. The world of reality TV is currently trembling to the core, so stop what you are doing. The internet has recently been inundated with crossover reports. In our time, we have witnessed a number of messy situations. However, if these rumors are even partially accurate, we are seeing the complete disintegration of a sisterhood that has existed for decades. One of the biggest names in franchise history is reportedly permanently fired as a result of an intense physical altercation that occurred behind the scenes, according to the out-of-control rumors. Imagine the tension in a room where long-suppressed animosity eventually erupts into an unexpected public spectacle. Insiders report that Yandy Smith-Harris has finally reached her breaking point, and the noise on social media is overwhelming. Allegedly yelling that Che deserved the asterisk while security battled to keep the peace. The worst part, though, is that rumors have it that Karlie Redd, the queen of messy herself, has been officially given her walking papers following an alleged altercation with Rasheeda Frost that went against every rule of professional behavior. Is an era coming to an end? In an attempt to determine whether the rumors of Karlie's dismissal are true or perhaps the most intricate publicity stunt we've ever witnessed, fans are going crazy and using every outlet. Betrayal, accusations, and a rift so profound that the entire cast is allegedly taking sides are prevalent. We are delving deeply into the conjecture, the purported eyewitness reports, and the startling commentary that has everyone wondering who will be safe once the cameras stop. The information that is emerging regarding what transpired at that production meeting will astound you. Keep checking back because we are dissecting each and every astounding assertion that is currently igniting the industry. According to reports, the mood behind the scenes of the most recent production was akin to a pressure cooker that was about to blow up into a million pieces. These women have been balancing professional cooperation with personal conflict for years. However, the business is in great astonishment over the most recent revelations that point to a total emotional and physical breakdown. The battle did not begin overnight. According to a number of insiders and rumors on social media, resentment had been simmering since the last reunion special. Karlie was apparently playing both sides in a delicate legal matter involving her family, according to rumors Yandy had been hearing. And as everyone knows, the gloves come off the instant you bring up Yandy's family. During what was intended to be a routine promotional photo shoot, the tension apparently reached a fever pitch. Witnesses said that as soon as Karlie entered the room, the air was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Seemingly oblivious to the trap that had already been set, she exuded her trademark confidence. Rasheeda, who is typically the group's mediator and voice of reason, was reportedly spotted hunched in a corner with Yandy, appearing more irritated than anybody has seen her in seasons. According to the rumors, Rasheeda uncovered some of Karlie's behind-the-scenes activities that immediately jeopardized press reputation and her numerous business endeavors. Stirring up trouble for a plot is one thing, but tampering with a woman's money is quite another. And that's precisely where it's said that the boundary was crossed. Supporters are assuming that rival boutique owners were receiving information from Karlie. Rasheeda felt totally deceived by someone she thought of as a lifelong friend in an attempt to get a competitive advantage. According to reports, there was no small talk as the cameras started rolling. Instead, the approaching storm was indicated by heavy sighs and scathing glares. It is said that the crew members were instructed to continue filming regardless of what transpired. Yandy apparently couldn't contain her tongue for long, since she sensed that the verbal sparring was going to turn into something far more harmful. Making derogatory comments about allegiance and how some attendees would sell their souls for a 5-minute viral video. Karlie never prevailed in a verbal altercation, supposedly responded by making a remark regarding Yandy's own history of handling drama. According to the stories, the verbal floodgates opened at that point. Production assistants reportedly thought about intervening before things got physical, due to the furious back and forth, but the momentum had already been lost. Karlie's tone, according to others on set, was sarcastic, almost as if she was challenging the others to respond, assured that her popularity would save her from any serious repercussions. However, it is said that she misjudged the united front that was emerging against her. It was reported that it was Rasheeda, who seldom speaks up, who finally lost it and got up to demand that Karlie reveal the truth regarding the documents that had been leaked and making the rounds on the blogs. Karlie's expression was described as one of complete defiance, grinning at the mayhem she appeared to have caused while simultaneously refusing to acknowledge any responsibility. The ensuing physical incident is said to have been sparked by this smile. According to the report, Rasheeda went up to Karlie and showed her something on her phone that was meant to be the smoking gun. And in a matter of seconds, the two were engaged in a furious altercation that caused production to completely collapse and equipment to fly. According to reports, security personnel surged in from all sides. However, the harm had already been done. Yandy's voice rose over the others, purportedly applauding the mayhem, and made it quite evident where her allegiances lay. The yelling was so loud that it could be heard from the parking lot, driven by an adrenaline surge of sheer vindication. She was reportedly observed pacing back and forth as she witnessed the woman she had been at odds with for years being held accountable in the most public manner possible. According to the cast's friends, this was long overdue. Years of Karlie's chaotic behavior ultimately caught up with her, and she was unable to use charm to get out of it. According to reports, the fight's aftermath was much more chaotic than the actual altercation. Rasheeda was reportedly inconsolable, not because she was hurt, but rather because she was devastated that a friendship had ended in such a violent and unprofessional manner. Production was halted for hours while executives scrambled to determine the legal ramifications of what had just happened on their set. She has put a lot of effort into creating a brand that represents business and sophistication. It was supposedly too much for her to bear to witness that. Damaged by a fight in the back alley. According to the rumors, Karlie was hauled out of the premises while continuing to yell her defense and threatened to sue everyone she saw. At this point, rumors started to spread that the network had had enough, and the tale took an even darker turn. According to reports, the superiors were fed up with Karlie's ongoing liability and the bad news that accompanied her every step. The news that her contract was being immediately canceled began to spread like wildfire. The internet is going crazy over Yandy's purported response to this news. She didn't express sympathy or ask for peace when informed that Karlie might be gone for good. Rather, she allegedly strengthened her position by making the bombshell remark that has subsequently made headlines on all of the nation's gossip blogs. She allegedly informed a producer that, in her opinion, Karlie had spent years prodding the bear and had finally gotten the claws, so she had no regrets about how things turned out. The cast is reportedly divided in a literal canyon, with some members silently rejoicing the departure of a woman they believe to be toxic to the workplace, and others fearing who would be the next to go. The social media response has also been split, with some fans congratulating Rasheeda for finally standing up for herself against a phony pal, and others defending Karlie as the show's lifeblood. If confirmed, the consequences of this sacking will completely alter the course of the forthcoming season, creating a huge hole that nobody is entirely sure how to fill. Anonymous sources claiming to have witnessed the entire incident continued to post descriptions of it, despite the legal teams reportedly working extra hard to remove any leaked film. In just a few minutes, years of personal slights and professional jealousies were let out in a spectacle of pure, undiluted wrath. Since these are more than simply co-workers, the emotional stakes are at an all-time high. These are women whose lives have been entwined for more than 10 years. The most devastating aspect of the entire situation, according to reports, was Rasheeda's sense of betrayal because she thought they had gotten past the trivial drama of their early years. Rather, she ended up fighting for her reputation in the middle of a circus as everyone else watched and awaited the next development. According to the article, Yandy has been the most outspoken about the situation behind closed doors, supposedly organizing the other members of the group to sign a petition or formally declare that they will stop filming with Karlie if she is permitted to return. This degree of concerted action against a single cast member is nearly unheard of in the franchise's history, demonstrating the extent of the wounds, how deep the wounds actually are. It depicts a set that is no longer functioning. Each time a new detail is revealed, as they attempt to deal with the consequences from a single explosive afternoon that altered everything for the queens of reality. Their sisterhood has been burnt to the ground and their future is uncertain. Television. Like a wildfire that no one was ready to put out, the aftermath of that combustible afternoon started to spread throughout the industry's inner circles. The most recent rumors circulating among the production crew claim that the hours after the physical incident were spent in closed-door meetings and emergency phone conversations that continued long into the night. The intensity of the dispute reportedly caught the network executives off guard, especially since Rasheeda has always been the cast's rock. According to the account, the mental battle that ensued was what really sealed the deal, even if the physical altercation was the breaking point. According to sources, Karlie Redd was not going down easily, allegedly making a call to her legal team before she had even exited the studio parking lot. She was allegedly spotted pacing close to her vehicle. She screamed into her phone that she was the victim of a well-planned ambush, her hair and clothes disheveled after the altercation. According to rumors, she was accusing Yandy and Rasheeda of orchestrating the entire incident in order to remove her from the program because they were envious of her length in the spotlight and her independent endeavors. The scene inside the building, meanwhile, was characterized as tense and gloomy. After hearing the news, Rasheeda's closest friends and relatives reportedly hurried to the site to witness her seated in her dressing room with her head in her hands. According to reports, her husband was incensed and demanded to know how security permitted the situation to worsen, to the point that his wife felt compelled to use physical force to protect herself. The cast's relatives began taking sides on social media with mysterious messages and removed stories that just fueled the fire, so the conflict didn't remain inside the studio walls for very long. With ambiguous messages about devotion and wolves in sheep's clothing, fans were receiving glimpses of the aftermath as they refreshed their feeds every few seconds. According to reports, Yandy was the most involved behind the scenes, ensuring that each producer was aware of her exact position. Witnesses said she was unrelenting, claiming that one person's persistent thirst for turmoil had turned the workplace into a hostile place. She apparently made a case that this wasn't an isolated occurrence, but rather a pattern of behavior that needed to be stopped by pointing out every instance in which Karlie had manipulated a situation in the past. Everyone began to feel the emotional strain of the circumstance. Some of the younger cast members allegedly broke down in tears, fearing that the violence would overshadow or cancel the program they had worked so hard to create. According to the rumors, Yandy, Rasheeda, and a few other important actors gathered in secret at a nearby hotel later that night to decide their future course of action. According to reports, they were making a deal that would prevent them from filming any sequences with Karlie if the network attempted to bring her back, thereby pressuring the executives. Although this type of power play isn't common, the accounts indicate that the women believe they had no other option to safeguard their professional brands and emotional well-being. Karlie was purportedly attempting to contact her own supporters within the production firm around this time, reminding them of the ratings she provides and the memorable events she has produced over the years. According to reports, she claimed that the audience would rebel if she was actually dismissed, and that a reality program without her would be dull. Whispers from the front office, however, indicated that the executives were more worried about the cast's physical safety and legal liabilities than they were about a brief decline in ratings. When multiple crew members saw that her bio was discreetly moved on certain internal documents and that her filming schedule for the next week had been completely erased, the rumors of her termination started to spread. When Rasheeda discovered that some of the information Karlie had allegedly released concerned intimate family concerns unrelated to the show, she reportedly felt even more betrayed. This was no longer merely a commercial matter. It had to do with the sacredness of a friendship that had lasted more than 10 years. According to the rumors, Rasheeda experienced anguish as though she were lamenting the death of a sibling. The social media world was divided, even though she was the one who had reached her breaking point. While some praised Rasheeda for finally letting go of the dead weight in her life, others called Yandy a bully for spearheading the attack on Karlie. Longtime viewers engaged in a heated debate in the comment sections over whether the show could even withstand such a significant casting change. As the evening went on, more purported information regarding the actual brawl emerged. According to one source, a bystander's phone had hidden video that showed the precise moment the first blow was delivered. The network's legal team was apparently experiencing additional worry as a result of this film being shopped around to the highest bidder. According to reports, they were frantic to prevent any uncut footage from reaching the general public until they had control over the story, according to the reports. Yandy's incendiary statement that Karlie deserved it was not merely a spontaneous remark. Rather, it was something she repeated to several others over the evening. According to reports, she was unwilling to play the standard reality TV game of apologizing for the cameras. She wanted everyone to know that she was beyond the games and that there were serious repercussions for going too far. Since major news sites and entertainment blogs had already reported on the topic, the network was under increasing pressure to provide an official statement. The rumors only got more dramatic with each minute that went by without a formal confirmation. According to some accounts, more cast members from various cities were also contributing. The division was no longer limited to a single city, with some endorsing Karlie's freedom to work and others applauding the decision to clean up the brand. It was turning into a vote on reality TV culture in general. According to reports, there was so much tension inside the inner circle that members were reluctant to talk to each other for fear of being misunderstood or caught in the crossfire. Relatives of the cast members were allegedly getting into their own verbal altercations in secret group chats that were eventually leaked to the media, further escalating the family drama. The support apparatus that typically keeps major productions going smoothly completely collapsed. Rasheeda remained largely silent in the public spotlight amid all the commotion, which many saw as an indication that she was genuinely beyond the drama. In stark contrast to Karlie's camp's boisterous and combative defense, her quiet spoke loudly. According to the article, Karlie was even thinking of making her own tell-all video and releasing it on her own terms, eschewing the network completely in order to present her side of the story before they could remove her from the season. The executives allegedly delivered a cease and desist letter to her home before the sun rose the following day because they perceived this action as a clear threat. For all parties concerned, the stakes had never been higher, and it became evident that the show's landscape had been irreversibly changed as the first aftermath subsided. The viewers were kept waiting on the edge of their seats for the next piece of evidence to surface in this developing tale of brutality, treachery, and the ultimate cost of fame in the world of high-stakes reality drama, because there was no turning back. As the sun rose on, a changed landscape for all those concerned. The shift from the immediate shock of the incident to the long-term ramifications allegedly started to take shape. Whispers from the production offices indicate that the decision to finalize the contract termination was not made lightly, but that it was the only way to keep the rest of the cast from completely walking out, according to the rumors. Yandy and Rasheeda had stuck to their positions. As the news of the purported firing solidified, LHHATL refused to return to a set where they believed their professional reputations and personal safety were continuously being undermined by deliberate leaks and physical violence. The fans' response changed from incredulity to a heated discussion about the franchise's future. According to some accounts, the network was already investigating possible substitutes, looking for past cast members who could be open to returning to the spotlight in order to fill the enormous vacuum left by Karlie Redd's exit. But the battle created emotional wounds that were difficult to heal, and rumors circulating inside the inner circle indicate that these women's friendship is officially irreparable. According to people close to Rasheeda, she has been concentrating solely on her company and her kids in an effort to disassociate herself from the poisonous vibe that characterized that last altercation. She reportedly told her colleagues at that last argument that she no longer wanted to hear her ex-friend's name mentioned in front of her, bringing an abrupt and final end to a connection that had previously appeared impenetrable. On the other side of the fence, speculation about Karlie's future plans is getting more and more outrageous.